Traders, what's up? Welcome in. Okay, we're gonna be doing a lot in a lot of time. It's 9:14. I'm gonna work till about 11. Probably record most of it. Take a couple breaks in the sun. We're gonna look at the current price and charts a lot. We're going to do some back testing. 2 hours is a lot that's gonna get done. Uh, I'm going to work on my trading journal a little bit, adding in disbursements. I have to keep track of this. How do I make this go away? Value area high and value low. So let's get into it. First, I want to start with current price. Obviously, we pumped insanely, and there's a fundamental and macro reason why. Two things happen. One is Bitcoin specific, and that is that the courts are saying FTX found $5 billion, which is pretty good news. The other is that inflation is indeed coming down. So we can expect that this June to have been the bottom in most assets. Bitcoin had one more leg down. That said, I'm still looking at a short. It's just I need to follow my system. Quickly review the mistakes that I made, because I made several videos about this. One of them was that volatility was so compressed during this time. It's not that I got bored, but I expected that to be normal when the holidays were over. There were holidays. After the holidays, we could expect volatility expansion, and that meant that I could have wider targets for or where I might want to enter. I had two longs, and it was criminally bad not to hold them. It would have been insane to hold them because I had very tight stops on these. And there were two more longs that I did not take that would have been somewhat okay, or would have been good and worked out. And then yeah, I took one, two, three losses. I took I took I took technically I've lost 8 straight trades. However, it's just 4 trades with 2 positions on each. So I lost one long, missed this long, and then shorted once here, and once here, and took 3 losses. So some of those were definitely unnecessary. Pretty big drawdown because I increased my size right then. I'm okay. I haven't blown up. I'm not going to blow up. But yeah, it made sense to have long bias. Like there was so much liquidity built up here. And on a high time frame, my target for new longs will be 21.5. There's a pocket at 20.2, but 21.5 is my new target for longs. That said, uh, for me, I need some kind of pullback and gathering for there to be a long entry. I'll work on breakouts this year, breakout entries to increase the number of trades opportunities that I have. But as of right now, I don't trade that way. I need price to retrace in some way in order for me to do something with it. So you can see a higher time frame idea of here to here. Yeah, 21.5 is a key level. Okay, so where price is now, I'm getting a number of my systems are telling me to short here. So my original system, the daily exhaustion system, once this key high is taken, you wait for the day to close and then you enter beyond. So I'm going to take that trade. Now, there's a couple additional confluences. My other system, this is the edge of a fair value gap, which helps narrow the entry. And it is also the top of a predictive channel that has not formed yet, but is starting to form. It is also the golden pocket from here to here, golden pocket retracement, and it is also the point of control of all the price movement since May actually. It's the highest volume area. So there's likely to be a lot of people eager to do business right at this 19,200 level. So I will try. Um, After that, kind of depends what happens, but I mean, short at 21.5 could be good, or if price sort of consolidates in here, maybe 20.2. No, if we get that close, we probably just go higher. So longs, longs are a bit trickier. I don't like how much price compression there was. I would love to have a wick to wipe out 15,880. To me, trying for shorts, even though it hasn't worked, is easier and more comfortable for me because there's more space to operate with. But it's so tight in here that for longs, I would almost rather just wait for a big wick and then trade on my inside ladder retracement system or setup. Um, Although we've created a lot of space, so there are some possibilities for longs. Like a couple days past, we're gonna have some pretty beefy fair value gaps on the daily, which you can see on the 4 hour. So if first we need to see, in order to long, we need to see some kind of a top, in my opinion, and price to start to retreat. I know it's like I'm a counter trend trader. This is what I do. So I don't know what this is. We don't need that. So from here to here, like this, maybe this level in here, something to pay attention to. Maybe just longing this big box is something that could work. Um, yeah, just locally, this short makes sense. I do want to zoom in and look at a long that would have worked, which is kind of crazy. Like, what happened here exactly? Let's go to do it on the 1 hour. There's a lot of volatility that came in. This is the first CPI day in a long time I didn't make money with. So, I guess like an inside ladder here, or an inside ladder allowing for a poke the gap, targeting 19,200 is a 7-to-1, and I mean it's technically, I mean it's kind of wild that this would have just continued to work. So let's think for a minute. It just seems crazy to try any kind of longs, like it's so late in the game. And yeah, we've taken our major target at 18.6 and blasted through it. I don't think it makes sense to continuation along here. I don't think so. I think we need at least something, some kind of sharp pullback. Just gonna trust and not do that. And look at these shorts as possible things that could happen. We're gonna look at ETH. I have an ETH short, which is maybe filled. It's close to filling. Um, I'm gonna look at the funding rate. Let's go look at ETH. Hasn't filled. Same idea for ETH. ETH is showing somewhat weakness compared to Bitcoin today, which I like. Same setup on ETH. Take this high. Channel, predictive channel is calling the top right here. Golden pocket above. Just beyond the gap, although ETH price kind of took the gap, half the gap, and retreated. Zoom out a bit. Let's throw the point of control on this chart. It's quite a bit higher for ETH. We're actually at a low volume node right now, which, I mean, it could be a reason to. I don't trade volume that much. My understanding is high volume areas are better targets, if anything, but same idea with ETH for longs. High time frame longs now targeting 1700, 1800, and this year, 22. And if it gets real crazy, 36 possible for the echo bubble. But for now, again, it still makes sense for me to short. So we're going to stick with that for now. Although I'm going to review once again a crazy long that would have worked, which is, looks like a eat the gap. So this could have worked here. Inside ladder here. I mean, actually, it wouldn't have really done much yet, so I guess, I mean, it could be running pretty well. It just didn't make sense to me to do continuation after already taking this. For Bitcoin, yes, because we hadn't hit 18, we hadn't really hit the target yet. Could have made sense, but yeah. Okay, now I want to move on a little bit and do a little bit of work on my trading journal here. Okay, so I have daily model, system 2.0, system 3.0. Okay. I'm going to call this system 1-day exhaustion. Run the gap, poke the gap inside ladder, and then I'm building up my playbook. Then breakout is something that I need to, might as well get started on this, right? Breakout. Breakout. Hop on board. In same direction as liquidations are occurring. Okay, what I want to do though is I want to log disbursements, and it looks like from my bank account, I've been spending maybe just 3,500 a month on average from here. So for my portfolio value needs to equal minus the disbursements, okay? Trading growth. So I have the monthly growth, the total growth, but I also need to, wait, this is way off. Something's not right here. Why should this be? So this should be this one, this, minus this, and this should be this, minus this, plus this. So this is way off. How did it get from? I see, it needs to be plus. Yeah, that's more accurate. Okay, 1 month, I'm gonna call it trading growth. Disbursements, the growth with disbursement. So this is more accurate. I need to keep track of how much money I'm spending. Okay. So this vary the price. I can't see it in the corner of my eye. Okay, how do we do the math for this? The trading growth, this can go over here. That is my growth with disbursements. I'll change the names. Okay. Then we're gonna have our trading growth. Okay, total growth with disbursement will also look at that, which will actually be this one. Total growth. So my trading growth equals, how are we gonna do this? Net P&L is gonna equal my this plus this divided by this. And I'm gonna have to do -1. No. So I'm going to take this out of it. Okay, number percent -1. Yeah, that looks correct. So total growth is going to equal this plus minus sum of the disbursements divided by what we started at, minus 1. This one needs to be a plus. Need a parentheses here. Oh, I see. Total disbursement, no, over problem is the sum of this. Think about this again. So my total growth is this one divided by this one. But I need to add this one. I have an idea. This one minus, do it like this, throw in parentheses, divided by what we started with, minus 1. That's still minus. It should equal this to start. Does it need to be a plus? It should be minus. Should be. This doesn't make sense. Because this one plus this one divided by this one should be 4%. What am I doing wrong here? $201 No, 2% is probably correct. This is probably wrong somehow. Rating growth. Yeah. I'm double adding this one. This one is incorrect actually. This one is correct. This isn't. Let's try this. This is the starting value. So instead of using H14, no, I14, we will use this one. With this one instead of I15, we will use this one. Okay, instead of this, well, we'll just use 200,000. We'll just get rid of the dollar. That looks like it might be correct. maybe. Okay, and then this one, I don't think it's, well, it looks somewhat correct, but no. The H one shouldn't be it's getting added twice, I think. These should be equal. So 201 minus this disbursement divided by this one. Okay, now they're the same. That looks correct. RR win dividing by 0. I have 0 wins. 0 wins, 6 losses. Okay, now it's gonna screw up my math a little bit too. But it needs to be done. Because I need to log disbursements. It's off. Screw up my equity curve. Why though? Why should that screw up the equity curve? We'll just come back and fix the equity curve. Oh, thinking about how am I gonna log disbursements on this while keeping my equity curve thing? Well, blanks shouldn't screw me up actually. So let's try this. I'll just redo my equity curve. I don't know why it wants to act crazy. So I need to log disbursement. Kind of able to sort of keep it the same. So I need to log disbursements. Put it out here. Disbursement. Okay, so we have September, October, November. I know people have tools that do this kind of stuff for them, but for me it's kind of helpful. Okay, disbursements negative 3,500. That's roughly what I'm doing. This is Now, what I'm going to do is portfolio growth is going to be this divided by this. Yeah, I need to be realistic about how much I'm spending. 240, which was, what was it? I think it was like 190. 228. So actually I haven't spent that much because it's showing, where is it? 240. I only spent 12,000, but there's four more, so 3,004 times. You know, so the actual, we're not even going to put this one in. I think this is going to be more accurate. So this plus this minus this. This is going to equal the sum of all disbursements. It needs to be a plus, not a minus. That looks accurate. Okay. So it's good to know I'm living on $3,000 to $4,000 a month. So I have a lot of runway. However, I need to get a move on because I'm 33 years old and I want to be in a position to have kids pretty soon, ideally within, I mean, ideally, financially, I'm set to do it now. Um, but within a couple of years, like it's got to happen. And that number's got to go way up. Disbursements are going to have to go way up. I'm going to be supporting more people. That's the goal anyways. So I'm going to log my disbursements here. Haven't taken a disbursement in January. Go. Not going to log this as 3,000. Okay. So, see how this is going to screw things up for us. We're going to have a sum of disbursements here. My portfolio value needs to take this into account. No. Okay. Now, I need to like reset it on the monthly, right? Format. So resetting this on the monthly, this needs to equal this minus this one. This one needs to equal this one. Oops. This. So what does that do? There's two ways to measure this. I'm gonna not count my disbursements as like trading losses. So I'm gonna do 200,000 plus this divided by 200,000. Although I actually started with 204,000. This is not right. Parentheses. That's more accurate. That's what I'm getting here. Trading growth. Growth with disbursements. So total growth should equal this plus this divided by this minus 1. It's going to be a percent. Growth with disbursement. You have to pay attention to this as well. Equals this divided by this minus 1. Back over here. So wherever we have a block here, to log disbursement. Okay, and on this one, needs to keep in account this one. Oops. Equals this. This one is going to equal this plus this. This one I think I did wrong because I added to it. It has to be, yeah, better. This will equal this one. January. It's not working. Something went wrong here. So we had 200 to 203. The thing is, like, I want this to work so I can know what 1% risk is at all times. I want to keep it consistent. Did I add somewhere? Go number one down, go with that number one down. Down. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Should have taken $12,000 off. 240. It only took $6,000 off. Why? I don't understand. Okay, yeah, no, that looks right. So why is this only 230? Why is this 234 when I took off 12,000? It should be undo and see what happens. Took all these off, 240. Three 34. It's off by a lot. What's influencing this number? Merely the sum of this. So my P&L, is this number accurate? Yes. Portfolio value, is this accurate? I was live streaming this so someone could tell me this is what you're doing wrong. I see. No, that keep. Well, what happens if I do that? No. Two 41. Well, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4 disbursements. Ah, I'm missing one here. I'm gonna log this one to January. Still is not gonna fully explain what's going on. Will get me closer to the correct number. 231. It's off by $3,150. Doesn't make any sense. 12,000. This one. So that's loss. Perfect. Okay, now I need to recreate my equity curve. Here's what we can do. How am I going to do my equity, my actually trading curve? I don't want to chart my curve with disbursements. One way is I can make a column that has 3,500. I could just start with 200 and then 200,000 and then have my profit. I could have one column is it's sort of hard to do it accurately when sort of hard to do it accurately now. Um, I'll come back to this, and in the meantime, I'm going to do it inaccurately, where this equals oil value. S- s- So I'll just recreate my, this isn't going to be that accurate. Wait, yeah, the growth is what I'm interested in. Is the growth accurate? Yeah, I think that will work. Okay. So for equity, insert chart. Very boring. Is anyone actually watching? Probably not the most entertaining thing. Okay. We need to add a couple data ranges. Data range one is just going to be actually to move the date over. Oh, it makes more sense to go by. No, I can't go by date closed because it will screw some things up, even if date open is not quite as accurate. It's okay. Looks pretty good. Just like to have a visual of my curve. Okay, equity curve. First data. The date. The date open, not date closed, just because if things get out of order, it's a little bit simpler. Okay, now we're gonna add another data range, which is going to be total growth here. I don't know how accurate this is either. Because here it's telling me that my total growth is 24%, which cannot be correct because it has to be 20.43%. So total growth, I'm doing some compounding, which isn't really making sense. This is going to be hard to, this number just isn't right, so I'm gonna delete it. What we can do, I can take my portfolio value and divide it by the starting value, but the problem with that is, yeah, here's what we will do. So, value add disbursement. It's not really that This isn't going to be 100% accurate, but it is what it is. So do portfolio value plus minus the disbursement. Okay. Drag this down. Something like that right here. I see. This one. I see. This is such a headache. Value without disbursement. Once we're here, we can do some of this one. This should fix it. Did not. Let's see. Um, okay. This is just gonna be awkward as fuck, but here's what we're gonna do. So we're just gonna start with this, and then when we get to our disbursement, I'm just gonna say fuck this. Okay, and say, all right, I have this total growth number. It's not accurate. I don't, I don't care. Just this total growth. I'll come back and figure out why this isn't working later, but it is. I just want to get something that's like the slightest bit accurate and then move on. Horizontal setup. Why can't I even add? So setup. There we go. Add series. Select a range. Select a data range. Will be this range. Total growth. Shit don't make sense at all. Okay, come on, motherfucker. It's already 10, and I've done no chart work, just spreadsheet work. Insert chart. I want to move on. No data. Okay, data range. The first data range will be the opening date of trades. And we need a second data range. It's going to be this total growth number, which isn't working. So we have two data. Okay. We want the x-axis to be actually the date. We want the y-axis to be. How do we change the y-axis? X-axis. Okay, here we go. Perfect. It's not super accurate, but it'll get the job done. Okay, moving on. Yeah, so I'm gonna stick with my entries here. If they do not get filled, well, first off, I have to assume I just lose and the price runs against me. But if I do not get filled and we have like quite a big reaction, then I can do trade an inside ladder with a stop allowing for this. So say that price decides it wants to break down, maybe it takes these, then I could short inside like this, targeting somewhere lower. So I'm not gonna change that right now. So I have another hour or so, and what I'm gonna spend in this hour is I'm going to find some instances to add to my playbook, and then I'm going to do a little bit of legit back testing where I test with winners and losers of the past range. So quick break, then we're back. Okay, took a break in the sun. Looks like we might get an impulse up into short entries, maybe, maybe not. But yeah, here we are. Didn't sit in my longs and got punished, but we survive and we move on. Yeah, I guess interested in something like this as a possibility, but we'll get there. Okay, I sat in the sun for a little while. 30 minutes. So the first thing I want to do is I want to find a couple more examples of inside ladders. 1 day exhaustion. No, I don't need that. And poke the gap. And then maybe start to work on breakout. We'll just see where we get, but I'm gonna start with finding poke the gap and inside ladder. Inside ladder is kind of nice. I'm starting to appreciate good inside ladder. So let's look. Here would be an example of an inside ladder. We'll get it on the 4 hour. Maybe the 5 minute makes sense too. Okay, we long this 4 hour gap. Our stop will be inside of this. And we target the highs. Like this. Which looks like we didn't get a fill, so I need to look a little bit more closely at this. Let's look at the 5 minute so I can see target a little bit more precisely. Say, okay, this one. Yeah, stopping here seems fine. Something like this. Tree. We didn't get exited. Probably makes more sense to exit over here anyways. Something like this. Just get out quick. Um, Stop could have been more narrow. It makes sense to allow for this. So the idea, as soon as this wick happens and this space is created on a higher time frame, we have our limit order waiting now for a day. So this is the inside ladder. Got it on the 4 hour. The chart inside ladder is a great setup. This is run the graph. Yeah, I'm really happy to be able to add this just to get in more entries. I really want to take more trades. Share this one on Twitter. Your big sweep we can expect. Added, not taken. Price reversers to the other side. Okay. This one is about a 5R. Copy link to the chart image. Why did I trade so poorly in the last month? Probably because I didn't work very hard. I spent, yeah, which is okay. I was surfing and I was socializing, and I had a lot of fun. Let me tell you, the last month has been a blast. But don't like losing money. So this is a 4 hour, which is a little bit different. Side ladder. Copy link to the chart image. It looks like there might have been even another inside ladder add-on there. So let's look more closely back into here. End up running that whole gap, it does. So here's another inside ladder idea. And this is where you could like risk your earlier position, 0.77%. This is sometimes the best setup comes later because like this is a 10R up to here, right? Right? This is the inside ladder. Copy link to the chart image. So these ones I want on the right. Not the left. And allow it to play out. This isn't right. I might delete this. So after this happens, this is the setup, which is also a run the gap. So why should we have an inside ladder this time? Well, we could trade this one, but we are driving towards this major target. It doesn't make sense to short here. Shorting above is fine. This is a 10R. Copy chart image. I need to fix this. You link to the chart image. After. Chart image. This one is a 5. This one is a 10. Copy link. I'm not gonna have time to do like legit back testing. Maybe I'll get to do that later today. Okay. So I don't really like poke the gap that much. Prefer run the gap. Got our fill on east. Maybe. Very close. Just shorting the top of this trend line. Top of this parallel channel into the golden pocket. Just well, there was a 1 hour gap actually. It ran it perfect. Just took the last piece of it just now. So a made sense. We have entered short there already. Maybe. We will see. I want to look at breakout trades, but I want to, and I think the breakout trades are going to help me avoid like counter trading at the wrong time. Having like, if I have a breakout trade set up, I shouldn't. Right? Um, Yeah, I will be, if we start to break down, I will be interested in some inside ladder setups on shorts if we start to expand down, because just from a liquidity perspective, we took a pretty major level and we could get up here and run this ladder, but there's so much liquidity left behind. I don't know exactly what the major target would be here. I mean, on my chart, it looks like 16,000, but it'd be kind of ridiculous for price to go all the way back down there again. At some point, liquidity needs to get left behind. And even though there's a lot of days here, there wasn't a lot of volume here. Let's zoom out. There's pretty good volume in there. Yeah, there's essentially a point of control in here. But yeah, I guess targeting just lower, it makes sense too. It will make sense to trade inside. And once a ladder is created above, yeah, we'll run it back. We just traded bad here. I can expect this. Yeah. Oh well. Okay, I want to look for a couple breakout trades. This one didn't work. This one might have worked. The idea that I like with breakout trades is they can happen very quickly. So here's where we had our inside ladder. I need to play around with it, but the idea would be as soon as we take this, we should just rocket higher. It could also be as soon as we take these highs, my stop can be back in here and we should just launch. Would this have worked? Yeah. Actually, we would say like let's right into the liquidations like right here. With a stop under, aiming up here. Would have worked. Copy link to chart image. Breakout trades. BTC. Long. 10R. MR. Okay. I want to have like a number of setups in my bag. I don't want to be left waiting. Okay, 10:53. Well, let me find a couple more breakout trades. This one is good. The short, breakout short, breakdown short. How does price actually move? I would say we'd want to trade into here. One doesn't really work. Well, it does, because we just wait for price to go into this level. We target here, something like this. I think it looks like a stop out though. Yeah. So the stop would have needed to be all the way up here, which doesn't necessarily make it worth it. It would make it a losing trade is what it would. I just, to start, want to find instances of winning trades. But yeah, you can see how this wouldn't really work. But I mean, I guess if you start early with a wider stop, it gives you more, even if it reverses, you might get something. So say we're short here with a stop or something like this, and we're targeting down here. We have a 4R. Would that work? Would actually, but it's not pretty. Uh, came up short. I can find better examples of how to do it. Like I need specific rules, which I don't necessarily have yet. Something like this to increase. Like, okay, price should be stopped here. Right now, I'm just kind of figuring things out. Another one, yeah, if we're at the major level, our stop is here. Something like this. I kind of prefer, yeah. I don't know. I'm just gathering examples right now. I can refine them later. I don't love this one because of this gap here, but I'm just gonna log it as an example. I could take a breakdown and a reversal at the same time. But note to self, there's this ladder below. It's risky. Trade. Copy, let's do charts and edge. So I build out my playbook after. It's 3.5. Okay. So how do we define a breakout trade? Breakout trade should be hop on board, same direction liquidations are occurring. So it's just a 3.5. Yeah. Enter in direction of trend just within major liquidation ladder. Just before or within major liquidation ladder. Stop loss back in midpoint of This range. I don't know. I'll figure that out. Appropriate as price approaches the major target. Yeah. Okay, now I'm about to finish up and I'm going to go back to current price action and take a look. So Bitcoin price drives higher. Looks like it will probably get filled on ETH. Maybe we just if we keep driving higher, I'll take another loss here and then I'll try again up here. And I don't know, I'll study more. Expect I could lose. That's just the way trading is. But this seems like a great setup. We took all the liquidity up here. The next batch is quite far away, and we left a lot behind. It makes sense. And yeah, I'm interested in, I guess I could consider a breakout long right here, and a breakout long right here. And I could consider a breakdown short right here to here. Something I could consider. And yeah, in order to, yeah, I guess I could long here. I would like to see price compress a little bit, but this is feel like an idea. But I need more data. Something like that. That would be a way for me to long on trend. But I think more interesting to me would be build another short ladder as price retraces a bit, have an opportunity to long. I'm building a new ladder. I mean, the best scenario to long would be to wipe all the way back down to here, but don't expect that. So we'll see how it sets up. That's all. Appreciate you guys. Much love. Gonna take a break, go surfing, eat lunch, and all that now. Peace.